Get me that signal. We need more power.
Did I not introduce Miss Melinda May? Ming-Na Wen, come on out! That's right. Biceps of steel. And we have Agent Peggy Carter, Hayley Atwell. Just threw everything into disarray before we started. That is the perfect way to do things.
Hi. How y'all doing, Chicago?
I'm pretty sure I have no reason to be here. You guys can take this and run with it. But have a seat. So yeah, like I said, just a couple silly little questions for you guys. Hayley, when you were on set, I remember you posting photos, sleeping in the most random of places. What was that all about?
I was exhausted, and I had no bed, so I just used what I could, and I did what any woman in that situation needs to do. My favourite was falling asleep underneath the food table, because then I could just eat chocolate as I was asleep.
Was any food dropped on you?
Oh, I had popcorn in my hair during a scene. I had to fish it out. Yeah, it was a mess.
Wonderful. Ming, we saw that all the photos you guys post during production, the cast is so silly, so fun.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I'm good. Next question. Who's the biggest joker or prankster on the cast?
Well, we're all pretty silly when we're not trying to be serious. Biggest prankster, I would say it's a toss-up between Clark, because he'll break into a rap every so often, and Ian is very funny in his own little mischievous ways. So those are the two.
Nice. Hayley, if she could, what advice would Agent Carter give to Agent May?
I don't think she needs to give Agent May any advice. I just think they need to find a bar and get really drunk together.
Which we're planning on doing tonight.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
So you guys are hosting an after party? Is that what I hear?
You're all invited.
Similarly, if Agent May could, what would she ask Agent Carter? Is there anything that she would go to her for?
Maybe some fashion sense, because May pretty much dresses in black, upon black, and you know, Agent Carter started all of S.H.I.E.L.D., so I have a feeling that if they ever did meet up in a time warp situation, Agent May would bow down to Agent Carter. And then we would kick some ass.
That's a great segue, but the last question I had was it's really the title of this panel, stresses your kickacity across the shows. Do you have favorite fight scenes? Because you've both destroyed people in the shows, and it's wonderful to watch.
My favorite was the diner fight scene, and the stunt coordinator was telling me, she was saying, your moves are kind of too sexy, they're too dancey, and
there's nothing too sexy.
I know, right? But she planted that image in my head, so I had Nicki Minaj's Anaconda in my head throughout that whole fight scene. So when you see me on screen, I'm saying it to myself.
Someone is totally going to make a video with that.
They have. It's on YouTube. It's
amazing.
It's called Agent Carter Don't Want None.
That is not an officially Marvel sponsored video, by the way. Thank you guys. Now you guys are already lining up. More questions. First, we're going to start over here.
Hi, I'm Abby, and I'm like, my heart is like.
Ours are
Greatest.
too. We love
The
you. We
greatest.
love the fans. You guys are so awesome for being here.
Thank you. So you both have very different tactical fight styles. I have two questions because I love them both. They're great. One, who would win in a battle between you? But more importantly, two, if you teamed up.
I gotta go.
I'm not worthy.
And two, if you guys teamed up, who would you want to fight against?
Good question.
Well, to answer your first question, I really don't think Agent Carter and Agent May would ever fight each other, but if we did, it would just be for fun.
Yeah.
You know, just to...
We probably burst into giggles and then go to the bar or something.
Again.
Again.
But I don't know, Loki would be a
Oh, that's a great shout. Yeah, it would be Loki. I second that.
Okay.
We'll go over.
Hi, my name is Phoebe, and I was wondering, when are we going to get Agent Carter Season 2?
Well, all I can say is we find out, myself included, in about 3 weeks from now. So, yeah, fingers crossed. But you will know at the same time that I will know, and I will post a very excitable tweet when it's announced, hoping it's announced, of course.
Thank you, and I love you both. Thanks.
Yeah, that kind of news comes like so quick and right before everybody finds out. So we're very excited, hopefully, and we hear you guys, and we hope ABC hears you guys. Next.
Hi, my name is Cassie. You guys have both filmed some really poignant scenes for Marvel, and I'm wondering if there's anyone in particular that really struck a chord with you.
I'm sorry.
If there was any like really poignant scene that you filmed for Marvel that like just resonated with you.
Well, not to give any spoilers out, but I just recently did an episode where it went to the backstory for Agent May. Yeah, it took a long time to find out why she's called the Cavalry, and I was dying to know. So for me, that definitely, especially scenes with Coulson and the reasons why they bonded in their friendship way back when, and how it changed her.
I think for top that girl. Okay. No pressure. I think it has to be when Jarvis gives her the vial of blood, and she takes it onto the bridge and she says her goodbye to Cap so that she can move on in her life, although he will always be close to her heart.
Alright, you did good. You did good, girl. That was good. Yeah.
Up next.
Hi, I just wanted to say I love you both, especially Ming-Na, because I grew up with Mulan. So I was wondering how you felt about the new live-action Mulan being made.
I'm very excited that Disney wants to take it one step further, and I certainly hope I get a phone call to at least be, make a cameo or something. No, I'm thrilled, and I really hope that they do it justice historically as well as everything else with it.
Thank you so much.
Next.
All right, so first of all, thank you both for being here. You're both lovely.
You look fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh my God! Can we see her? Is there a way we can see her costume for the rest of the crowd? She's amazing.
Come on stage! Come on stage! Angie would be very proud.
Yeah.
Oh, woo! Another question.
Okay. So my question's actually for you, Hayley. So now that Angie and Peggy are living together, I feel like it's going to be a little hard. Hopefully, season 2, it's going to be harder for Peggy to keep her secret life from her, especially since Angie's one of her best friends. How do you see that relationship kind of working out if there is a season 2?
Well, that's what I think is wonderful about their relationship, is that you have two females on screen who are not competing with each other, they're not talking about other guys all the time. It's what it should be. They love each other, they respect each other. And I think now that she knows, she's like, you know, English, I knew there was something about you. She's a smart cookie, and I think hopefully now Peggy will finally feel safe enough to be able to confide in someone, because I think that's what she was missing from season 1, is that girlfriend that she can really go to, and I think Angie's it.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out, big fans of both of you. My question is actually for Hayley. I'm a huge fan of the show Black Mirror. Yours was the best, obviously.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could talk about how you got involved with that, how it was filming and working with Dom Hall and Gleason.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I saw the first season of Black Mirror on television, and I thought it was one of the most forward-thinking and intelligent pieces of writing that I'd seen in years. So I actually found the name of the producer, and I called them up myself. And this is an example of if you want to be an actor and you want to be proactive, this was my kind of way of doing that. And I just said, I will be and play anything in the second season. So they were like, oh, okay, we didn't even consider you, but now we will. And about a week later, I got the script for Be Right Back, and I read it, and I burst into tears. I thought it was beautiful. And then I spent 12 days filming it with Donal, and spent 12 days crying. But I was very proud of it, and I think it had a very exciting and forward-thinking message about kind of technology and where we're at socially. So it was an honor to do it, and I would definitely work with Charlie Brooker again.
That's how you say his name, no saying Dom.
Donal Gleason. Yes, a bit like Donut. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the thing about when we're set in Agent Carter is that the sexism for modern day audiences is that much more obvious. And the sexism that's prevalent now is a lot more subtle and sophisticated. Therefore, we have to eke it out of the floorboards, and we have to expose it for what it is. And the more that people speak out about it, the more that we can fight against it and see it in the clear light of day.
Because I think it's going to be a forever problem in many ways, but at the same time, I think we've made incredible strides. And I really am honored and proud to be part of a universe, which is Marvel, that offers so many strong female role models. And like Hayley says, for the young women as well as for the women who want someone to look up to, Marvel really does offer up quite a lot of those role models.
Thank you.
My name is Thomas, and Hayley, I saw you on Jimmy Kimmel recently, and you showed your hidden talent. I was wondering if you can do it for everybody else here.
What is it? Are you guys not bored of it yet?
No, I don't know it.
There are children here. Is this safe?
What is it?
I smelled it so late and I touched his hands!
It's one of my very hidden talents.
Oh, that's nice. Why did you develop that?
I was an only child. I had a lot of time on my hands.
Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name's Emma, and I was wondering who your favorite superhero was.
Oh, my cat.
Well, it used to be the Hulk. It still is, because I just love when he turns into this big, angry green man that still keeps his pants on. I don't know how that works. I really don't. But it's amazing. But now, as everyone knows, it's Thor.
First of all, I want to thank you guys for being such amazing role models, not just to me, but for like everyone in this room and everyone around like the country and everything. So thank you, first of all. And second of all, does it feel comfortable when you guys play your roles? Because we all know you're amazing, strong women, like by yourselves, not just like your characters.
Does it feel comfortable playing?
Yeah, I mean, does it feel like natural?
Not when you're wearing stockings, Spanx, harness, a mic pack, a slip, and a pencil skirt, and you're in heels, and you've got a wig on.
Understandable.
I'll tell you, there was one, I was just saying this backstage, I had to get my license renewed at the DMV, and I only had half an hour to do it in, so I went as Peggy Carter. I showed the picture. The picture, it's Peggy Carter is on my
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's so great. If she ever gets pulled over, I told her the cops 9 times out of 10 will be a Marvel fan, and she'll be able to sail free. Yeah.
Do you have experience with these cops on the road?
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm from Iowa. My question is for both of you. What advice do you have for your viewers, specifically young women, and like how to be like a strong, confident young person?
I think Peggy says it towards the end. She says, I know my value. I think sometimes we forget or we listen to people telling us that we're not worth something, and yet Peggy's someone who doesn't need other people to tell her what her worth is, and I think cultivating that self-respect and that self-worth is so important in becoming the person, the people that we're meant to be.
And I mean, I have a 14-year-old daughter, and every day, whenever she gets down on herself about how she looks or comparing herself to others, I just always remind her to love yourself and be, you know, and just be proud of the person that you are, because you got it all. And that's a message that all young girls should really have in their heart, just to love yourself.
Thank you guys, you were awesome.
Thank you so much.